I slid the folder across the table and watched my mother's face go pale. She had no idea that everything she had worked for, everything she had protected, everything she had chosen over me now belonged to my son. But to understand why I did it, you need to hear what she did to me first. Everything changed on a rainy night I will never forget. I still remember the sound of rain hitting my windshield. It was past midnight. The highway was almost empty. My son Noah, just 4 years old, was asleep in the back seat. I had just finished a long shift at the hospital and was driving us home. Everything felt normal until my phone rang. It was my mother. Mom. Her voice sounded strange, cold, almost nervous. Emily, we need to talk.
Before I could respond, headlights suddenly flooded my rearview mirror. A truck was accelerating toward us. Too fast. Way too fast. I swerved. Hard. My heart was pounding. We made it off the road. By seconds. Noah startled awake and began crying. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. And when I picked up my phone again, my mother had already hung up. That moment should have been a warning. But I wasn't ready to see it yet.
Growing up, my younger sister Chloe was the center of our parents' world. The favorite. The golden child. The one who could do no wrong. If Chloe failed a test, the teacher was blamed. If she quit a job, my parents said she deserved better. If she wanted something expensive, they bought it without hesitation. Meanwhile, I learned early that I had to survive on my own. But when my son Noah was born, I hoped things would change. I thought becoming grandparents would soften them. I was wrong. 2 weeks after Noah was born, I called my parents for help. I hadn't slept in days. The baby was constantly crying. I was exhausted and desperate. Mom, could you watch Noah for just a few hours? Silence. Then a long sigh. Emily, your sister needs us right now. I blinked. What? She had a fight with her boyfriend. Those words hit me like a slap across the face. My baby is 2 weeks old. You chose to have that child. It's not our responsibility. I hung up and sat alone in the dark, holding my newborn, and cried. Then a few weeks later, things got worse. I was driving Noah to a doctor's appointment. The road was quiet. Then, without warning, a car ran a red light directly into my path. The crash happened in seconds. Metal, twisted, glass, shattered. My car spun across the intersection. When everything stopped, I heard Noah crying. And in that moment, lying there with a fractured arm and a concussion, I realized how truly alone we were. The doctors confirmed Noah was okay, just scared. But I was admitted overnight. From my hospital bed, I called my parents one more time. Mom, we were in an accident. Noah and I are in the hospital. Her response came without hesitation. Emily, this isn't a good time. Your sister is having a meltdown. That was the moment something inside me finally broke. Completely and permanently. But that same evening, there was a knock on my hospital door. I expected a nurse. Instead, it was my grandfather. His face was tight, with something I had never seen from him before. Anger.
Your mother told me everything was fine.
It wasn't. He gently lifted Noah from the bassinet and held him close. Then he looked at me and said 7 words that would change the course of my life.
Don't worry. I will handle this.
Over the following weeks, my grandfather began asking quiet questions. And what he discovered shook him to his core. My parents had been telling relatives for years that they were constantly supporting me financially. In reality, they had never given me a single dollar. Every cent had been flowing to Chloe, quietly, consistently, without question. When my grandfather understood the full picture, he made a decision. A calm, deliberate, and deeply private decision that no one else would know about for years. I never asked what he planned. I simply moved forward. I worked 2 jobs. I built a small online business from nothing. I raised Noah on my own. And slowly, steadily, things began to improve. 12 years passed. Noah grew into a kind, bright, remarkable young man. And my life looked nothing like it once had. Then, one afternoon, my phone rang. It was my mother, and the desperation in her voice told me everything before she even spoke a word. My father had lost his job. My sister was drowning in debt. They were about to lose their house. And for the first time in my life, they were calling me for help. I invited them to dinner. When they arrived, I waited until everyone was seated. Then I placed a single folder on the table. Inside were legal documents, my grandfather's will. He had left everything: his savings, his property, his estate, entirely to my son, Noah. My parents stared at the papers. My mother's face went pale. My sister's eyes filled with tears. And the room went completely silent. I looked at my mother calmly and repeated the exact words she had once said to me. You chose your priorities. This is not my responsibility. For the first time in their lives, the golden child didn't get saved. And for the first time in mine, I finally felt free.